First of all, what a tremendous basketball game. So proud of my kids. I think they would agree. We're going to give God the glory tonight for a tremendous game, tremendous atmosphere, tremendous effort. Really feel blessed tonight, y'all. Didn't play well. Third quarter, we were awful. Again, had a hard time coming out for whatever reason. Same thing happened the other night with South Carolina. And, you know, I got to do better, getting them out of the locker room, having them ready to play. But fourth quarter, you saw us play 10 minutes of matchup. That's about as much as we've played all year long. We played 10 minutes of matchup. But we had to stop all that dribble penetration. And it was just killing us. And they made one basket in the fourth quarter. Now, those that have followed me and followed us these 4 years, y'all know we don't play that a lot. And that particular defense has a particular name I refer to as the Everett Kennard defense. That's our bus driver, and he gets that from last year when we were at Louisiana Lafayette, and I had played about the same amount of zone going into that game, and we couldn't guard their guards, and we went to it that night and went from 15 down to up 15. And after the game, Everett commended me on a great coaching decision. And that night, we went to a 2-3, and I basically told them, you stand here, you stand here, you stand here, you stand here, and you stand here. And that was the great coaching decision that night. So we'll give Everett credit. It hit me in my head beginning of the fourth quarter. I thought, you know, we can't stop them, so we might as well try something else. Of course, then you could probably say, well, Coach, you might ought to try to go to that a little bit earlier. And you'd be right. But just really proud of our kids. Thought they did a good job once we got in it. We got matched up. They didn't get too many open looks. Everything was contested. We actually had some shot clock violation, and we rebounded well out of it. That team is a monster team rebound. Now, they shot it well, but they only had 6 live ball offensive rebounds. That's a pretty good job by our kids. And 2 games in a row now where we've gone against some tremendous size, athleticism, length, and we've done a pretty good job of rebounding. So really proud of how we executed the fourth quarter, both defensively and offensively. And it's just a heck of a win. As y'all know, y'all were in here, was it yesterday, and made a big deal about the whatever, 30 games or 30 years, however long it's been, that Mississippi State had never beaten Tennessee. And again, we didn't talk about it. These kids don't know anything about it. I wasn't here, so I've lost to them 3 times in the first 3 years. But tonight, what tremendous toughness by our kids to stay after it, compete, competitive spirit, and find a way to win.
Coach, you talk about there, you talk about toughness. Did it look like you almost had Tennessee a little on their back heels before forward, like they were almost getting tired? Your kids have better endurance?
Well, you know, they're going to shake their head because they like going down there and standing around in that zone. You know, they ain't got to chase them around. And so they, you know, they get to rest on that end and then come down on offense and play a little harder. But, you know, I think, and I think my kids will tell you too, we're in pretty good shape. This kid's played 262 of 280 possible minutes in the SEC play. She played 43 out of 45 tonight. And, you know, I always ask her because she's my gauge. If she was ever to tell me, Coach, my legs are tired, I'd probably give the team the whole day off the next day because, you know, I know how tough she is. And don't be telling me her legs are tired. But that's my gauge, you know, and she'll tell you. I ask her all the time, how you feel? And because look, she's that warrior for us that we got a hatch. Took 3 charges, I think, in the fourth quarter, and I kept telling them in the timeouts that we're not playing. We got a great crowd. They're waiting for us to do something, and she's the one that got the crowd energized, you know. And then Mo hits that 3 at the top with the clock going down. That got everybody excited, and so they were just waiting to explode. And so anyway. I do think we're in great shape, and I do think in the fourth quarter we finally started to smell some success.
Any second thoughts about going to the zone?
Second thoughts?
Because I know some might call you stick in the mud that you like to do certain.
You mean stubborn?
You said it, yes.
No, I don't have any second thoughts. My only second thought is I might should have done it earlier. I mean, I watched a ton of film on them. Arkansas played 40 minutes of zone on them. Florida played a bunch of zone. But here's the problem with the zone. It's hard to rebound in the zone. It's hard to find somebody to stick a butt on in that zone. But ours is different. We're in the matchup. We're going through with cutters sometimes. And so it's a little bit easier. And tonight, obviously, we rebounded well out of it. So, yeah, I'm thinking to myself in the fourth quarter, I'm thinking, you know, if this doesn't work out, I should have gone to a lot earlier. Because, I mean, they opened up the fourth quarter and it was layup city. Or it was 10-foot jump shot all night long. And so I'm glad we went to it when we did. Let's just leave it at that.
Vic, sorry, can you talk about the drive to the basket that you had? Coach has been, what's a nice way to say it? Encouraging you to take the ball to the rim and take contact. Yeah, and you took the contact out of the shields and you converted the three-point play.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Can you talk about that play?
Yeah. But coach always talking about like attack themselves. So I just knew everybody was up. So I just knew I had a baseline to myself. So I just drove and she got contact and I got the hand one.
Vic, I asked you yesterday if this game, you know, meant anything different to you, and then after the game I saw you hug the assistant and hug Scott. I mean, what are the emotions after the game?
Well, it's not just winning the game, it's how we won the game. I mean, these kids just, they're special, you know. They drive me crazy. I love them to death, but they're special. You're down 12. You know, you're basically on life support tonight. We were just awful. And we're at home and I'm embarrassed and there's so many emotions, and then we fight our way back in it and you get it, and now you got a chance to win the game, and then you go to overtime, and hey, look, any game we go to overtime, I feel like we're going to win because I think we're in great shape. I think my kids think they're in great shape. So if it goes to overtime, it's not like we're hanging our head, but it's just the emotion of knowing so many years of futility and so many years of frustration and almost. And just like I told you yesterday, if it happened, it's just another one of the long line of firsts that we've been so fortunate and blessed to be able to do here in 4 short years. So, but, you know, Johnny and I have been together so long, and, you know, I don't think she has, I know I haven't, we've never beaten Tennessee, you know, as a coach. And so to be able to go through it and do it the way we did it today, it really makes it special. My bench is a special place, y'all. Those coaches do a tremendous job, and, you know, I'm really proud of them as well.
Vic, how big was those offensive rebounds, especially Chinwe's in overtime, to be able to put that back and kind of really put you over the hump?
Well, she's growing, you know, right in front of us. Her and, you know, T didn't, I don't know that T scored, but T had some big rebounds, had 7 big rebounds, 5 offensive, and doesn't score. But, you know, Chinwe, I think, is letting the game, she's slowing down, letting the game happen instead of rushing some things. We've all seen her rush that. But that rebound and stick back was huge, you know. And we've talked about that. Look, man, we had 20 offensive boards tonight. We kind of turned the table on them a little bit in that regard. But it's no secret we're not shooting it great. So we've talked about, okay, let's pretend like they're passing the ball and let's go get it. And so, again, we had 5 from T, you had 3 from Bree, 2 from my point guard Morgan, and Katara had 2. So, you know, Chinwe's, she's doing a great job for us. She gave us some inside looks also. That first half, she wasn't just posting, she was pinning and had them deep in the lane, and that's a sign of growing up a little bit too.
Dominique, what was the huddle like between the third and fourth quarters there? What were y'all talking about?
Just we needed to pick it up on defense and just talk, and we had to get stops in order to get back in the game.
Chinwe, Russell came out and helped on Victoria on that play where she shot it. You grabbed the offensive rebound.
Can y'all move the mic if whoever's talking?
Sure.
Yep. And we want everybody at home to be able to hear.
Yep.
I don't think that you would have been able to make that play a year ago, in that you were agile enough to grab it, catch it, and then make an aggressive post move and finish at the rim. First of all, do you remember the play?
Yes, I do.
And can you describe the play and what you did to make that play?
After the shot was made, and then I just boxed out. You know, I just tried to gain position, an inside position to box Schaefer out, and then after I boxed out, I saw the ball and I grabbed it. Like, I think it was fumbling in my hand first, and then I just grabbed it. And I didn't know that I was open, but then I heard Dominique say, go back up, and so I knew it was all clear, and then I just went back up. Because I thought I was double teaming something, because I was just looking up, so when I heard her say, go back up, so I just trusted her judgment, and I went back up.
Dominique, were you looking to shoot, or just in case that's what Tennessee was giving y'all?
I think I had a lot of open looks in the zone, and I practiced a lot of those shots, so I'm comfortable out there.
I think the layup for Morgan out of the timeout, was that design play, or did she kind of freestyle on that?
No. You know, I was disappointed we didn't run that in the end of regulation. And I told the coach, I said, if we get to last play again, we're running high-low, and I want Morgan coming off and making that decision. So, you know, we didn't get a good look at the end of regulation, and I really wanted something to the rim. And so I thought she got it, and, you know, it didn't work out, but I can live with that one.
Chinwe, coach said that you're growing up, being able to make that play. Well, do you think that you would have been able to make that play last season? And then how much do you think that you're growing up?
Last season, no, I wouldn't have been able to make it. Like, I probably would have just stoned it hard on the backboard, you know, but I mean, with practice and then the coaches, you know, like talking to me every time, and my teammates just cheering around, like, you know, keep going, like, okay, just focus, find a square, and put a ball up there, you know. So, yes, I've really grown, and I'm still growing. I'm still working on it.
Dom, does sometimes she need a little encouragement to recognize that she's got that scoring opportunity?
Yeah, she's just like me. Sometimes whenever I miss, I get down on myself, but just encouraging her and to keep shooting it, just focus, don't rush it, and I mean, she's gonna make most of them, so just trusting her, and she needs to trust us for her to take the shot.
Coach, I know parts of the game, not the best played, but never got sloppy, only 5 turnovers to 14 for Tennessee. How big was that stat minutes?
It's back-to-back games now where we've had, I don't know how many, we didn't have many against South Carolina, maybe less than 10. And we had 3 at halftime tonight, and 5 total. It's a huge stat, especially when you're shooting the ball like we are. So you certainly don't want to turn it over 19 times like we did at Georgia and shoot it bad. So it's a big stat, and it's a credit again to our kids for taking care of the ball, understanding the importance of valuing the basketball. And again, we talked about tonight on the board before we ever played the game was execution. You know, execution on offense, taking care of the ball, getting to your spots on the floor, attacking. And so that's a great point. I don't know when the last time I've had a team when we turned the ball over 5 times, especially against a, you know, top 15, top 20 team.
Tom, what can the win do for you in thinking that, you know, being down 12 in the fourth quarter and then coming back and winning against a program like Tennessee, just knowing that you're never out of a game, what does that confidence do for you going forward?
Just realizing that as long as we never give up, we're in any game, just to keep fighting, and I think just gives us a lot of confidence beating Tennessee and just going forward, and winning in overtime, because last year we lost a couple overtime games, so it's just important winning in overtime too.
Vic, I don't mean to draw a comparison where maybe one's not, but the growth from last season to this season, and like Michael just said, the overtime games last season, then making the jump this season and winning a game like that. Is there growth that you can point to compared to those 2 games and this one?
Well, yeah, I think I look in my kids' eyes right now, and I tell them to do something, and I think they have an understanding. Like some of the things we were doing defensively, I'm asking them to, you know, show one thing being another, and they get that. And look, I get, you know, when we make mistakes, they're usually young mistakes, you know. Our decisions out there on the floor are sometimes just because of our youth. I start looking at, you know, but again, I do think absolutely we're growing up a little bit. I mean, Dom's been in those games, Victoria's been in those games. She's just a sophomore, Chinwe's just a sophomore. I mean, Morgan's just a sophomore. So we got a lot of young kids but they've already been to the wars, you know. I mean, hell, this is a nightmare of a league. It's just, every night is like this. And again, when you don't play well, you're down 12, like that. You know, you don't make a play and you give up another 3 before halftime. And, you know, I told my staff at house, so I'm not bringing it up. They know it. It's having 2 games in a row, and you hope that doesn't bite you, come back to get you at the end. And, you know, tonight it didn't, but I do think this group is trying to grow up. I wouldn't say, I think we're trying at times. You know, Tori will tell you, I'm having the same conversations with her after every game. So we're talking about some of the same things after every game, aren't we? She'll get it. You know, I talked to Bree about some of the same things. I talked to Morgan and Jazz about some of the same things. I talked to Don about some of the same things. They're going to get it, and they're starting to, but man, when we're out there on our, doing what we did in the third quarter tonight, it can really be frustrating, you know, as a coach. And but again, these kids showed a tremendous resilient side tonight. There's not a lot of teams that could have come back in the fourth quarter against Tennessee at all, period, being down 12. And they were playing so well. And these kids changed the game. They changed how Tennessee was playing. Wasn't it Tennessee just decided to change? These kids changed how Tennessee was playing in the fourth quarter. And you've got to give those kids credit for that.
Any other questions? All right, thanks, ladies. Thanks, Coach.
Ooh, praise the Lord and go Dogs.
Stay.